still stuck in the woods. I am Edgar with your co-host Courtney here.
Hi.
And we are still stuck in this sort of sequel verse of kind of shitty horror movies. Sorry, Courtney.
No, they are shitty, but that's okay. I stand by the fact that I really like shitty horror movies. It's okay. I like the good ones too.
The other ones we were watching were a little bit more charismatic than this one.
Yeah.
Today we are doing, which is it's not a recreation. It's not a reboot of the original, which I just found out. I actually thought it was.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. This is actually not the Blair Witch, just called Blair Witch.
2016.
2016, which I thought came out way earlier, I guess. Yeah, I thought it came out like something like 2011, not 2016, which was not that long ago.
It's not. And how silly this movie is, yeah.
It feels older than it actually looks.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. It's all right, but you know what? Let's dig in. We're gonna press play. It's gonna be on in the background. We're gonna talk about some stuff.
All right.
Legend said there's been a curse on these woods.
Do you believe in the stories about the Blair Witch?
Oh my god. Oh, they're everywhere.
What was that?
I don't want to go in there. I don't think we should go. Let's go. Who could have done this? You did this!
Oh my god! All right, so then what we have here is we got a budget of $5 million back in 2016, which still isn't a lot of money. It made 9 times its gross back, or 9 times its budget back, at 45.2 million internationally, which also isn't great. I mean, it's good on paper, but for international, and we are basically going through the same steps that we did with the original, just, you know, with a new fresh coat of paint.
Mm-hmm.
Released in September 2016. It was up against the only other movie that came out, I think that horror movie that came out that week was Don't Breathe, which is actually really good.
I really actually did like that one, and maybe we'll have to do that one. That one was fun. I can't believe this came out at the same time as Don't Breathe. I didn't even see that.
Exactly. All right, so we got a little, we got all of our found footage tropes right here. We got a lot of the glitching going on.
Well, it's very glitchy. You're in the spooky cabin, and
that is not a cabin. That is a nice house. That was a big house.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're kind of on the same. I'm on like time stamp like 132. What are you at? Because I'll go back.
No, 142 now.
Okay, sweet. We're on
Are you
like.
still playing? Are you still?
Oh yeah, I'm still playing it. I didn't stop it. So yeah, I'm like 145. So I think we're right on the same track.
Yeah.
We're just checking because we're doing things a little different. We're not recording together today. We are recording in opposite places.
Actually, I might be able to like next time. I think share my desktop with you.
Okay. Well, we're still figuring it out, but we're here because we want to be.
So here we're introduced to Heather Donahue's brother from the first movie.
Yes, Heather from the
And
first movie, her little brother.
which makes this a sequel. Which actually, this is Blair Witch Part 3, BW3. And the one of the things that gets me about this movie is how everything looks so nice and clear. Like these do not look like it does not look like found footage.
Like
movie.
this isn't and even the way like later on, obviously we'll get there when they're filming the panic go down. You're like, what? Like, why is this like a red camera HD like set up? Like,
where they're like running through the mud and the rain and everything's super clear and there's not a drop on the lens.
All right, so now we're seeing original footage from Blair Witch, the first one, and this the ending, the very scary ending with Josh in the corner. Just remember his name.
So we have Heather's brother. I think his name is Jamie. He's going to go out to Blair Witch, which I don't know why it's taking him this long to go. Oh, because he received video, the videotape that we saw at the beginning of the movie. He got it off the internet. So he thinks this new footage might be related to his sister, might be out in the woods, and his friend's going to record it for a documentary project. Yeah, so almost, you get the friend.
Almost. Sorry, they were just doing,
almost beat for beat.
Almost, they're just doing that goofy thing where they're trying to focus the camera, and it just looks really stupid.
Mm-hmm. Just like everything is shot so well. So I'm like, it looks good. It looks great.
Of course it looks great, but you don't
like,
want that in a found footage. Like, you're supposed to recreate the fact that they're doing the same thing that his sister did in a way, but except for they're trying to find his sister.
Yeah, how the original Blair Witch was super grainy, super raw. And then remember Paranormal Activity, the same thing, where it was just like, it was all grainy footage, all shot up. Nothing was perfect, but it looked so... But it just added to it.
And now we've met the other, his friend that's going to be going with them. His name is, let me pull it up. Where did it go? Wow, doing great right now. Peter.
So we got our cast of characters. We got, let's see here. We got James, which is the brother, Lisa, which is the friend shooting the documentary, Ashley, which is Peter's girlfriend, which I also think is the drone operator.
Yes.
Which was also one of like the biggest missteps of this movie. They had a nice drone.
Having a nice drone.
It seems like they never used it. And then Peter, which is the best friend, who we find out later was like also traumatized by the events of Heather's disappearance and, was there looking for her body, which is like, great. You're giving us a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, also these little earpieces with the camera in them.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe you.
That's the footage that they can get, that they're trying to show us. They're trying to show us that this is
nice
the
ass
like,
footage.
Nuh-uh. That is like
you don't get a hair strand in front or
you know what that
anything.
reminds me of? It reminds me of like those super hardcore fake big glasses that had like a camera on the side of it.
Oh,
like
the Google ones?
No, but you're like trying to like be secretive. Like, I'm not filming you, but it was like so clear.
They're super.
You're like, sir, there's a camera on your glasses. It's a wire.
These just look like OG Bluetooth like headsets. Remember those? Like early 2000s
that's probably what it was. They probably just had to put a Bluetooth in. They were like, we're gonna pretend this is a camera.
Because like for a second, like how are they Like in that last shot, how are you zooming in as you're talking to somebody? It doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't.
Like,
Hold on, I just have to talk to my little thing here. Let me zoom into my earpiece.
And so here we get introduced to the drone. We get the same shot. Oh, it's going up.
It's going up.
And it just comes back down. That's it.
Yeah. She's a really concrete drone operator, clearly.
I mean, you could have done amazing stuff with this. Like, I feel like that, like, man.
You're mad.
Man,
You're mad.
I'm just going to keep
You're
going on
mad.
about it over and over again. Yeah,
It's the whole time. I'm just going to tell you how mad I am that they didn't use this drone to, like, any sort of...
All right, well,
to their
we'll give
advantage.
credit to
A little bit.
is the movie is written, directed, well, Adam Wingard had directed it and Simon Barrett had written it. They have worked on other movies together, like The Guest and You're Next, which are actually both really, really
I really
good.
do like You're Next. Yeah.
You're Next is awesome. And The Guest is actually a really, really good, fun little thriller. I highly recommend it. That one's on Netflix.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, so good. But it's like, you know, like these guys know what they're doing. So it's not like, which I think you could only do so much with this storyline.
Yeah. But I like to point out that they do almost exactly like the same things as the first one. You know how it's like they're showing everyone the camera and all these cool things, and now we're partying. Here we're drinking our beers, doing our tequila shots, and then the next day we're going out in the woods, which is exactly like how the first one is.
Yeah.
It follows it pretty kind of precisely as far as like what they go through.
And then as we're getting there, what are we getting? More back lore.
Yeah, pretty much. More back lore into whatever. It didn't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get there. I don't want to. We're not there yet.
No, we can talk about it. And all right, so now we've got into the house where basically James is getting to the house where he met this guy on the internet who gave him the
says,
tape.
yeah.
Who he thinks
They're at the house where they met this couple that says that they have the tape that they're pretty sure is his sister Heather, and these two are just. There's a Confederate flag right in their house.
which I'm like, I mean, they're in Maryland, which is really far up north for many, like, you know, I think like Southern patriotism, but you know, you never know. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
They're just trying to say like these guys are out in the woods, and you know, just.
But it kind of makes
good
that
old
thing
boy.
right away because obviously two of our characters are black, so it's like, oh, we're gonna do that.
Awkward. Which they don't come off racist at all.
Awkward.
Like,
And now this guy has one of those like old school like 1999 like camcorders that we're used to seeing.
yeah.
But even his footage is like spot on, beautiful.
So these guys are Lane and Jamie,
Mhm.
the couple that also known as Darknet 666, which is pretty on point. You know,
That is that's my creepypasta account. Oh my god.
You know, I also can't get like maybe like the acting isn't super by some of the cast, like when they're in the bar, and I'm just like,
Yeah. It's just like, okay. And that's been like, because they want to go with them, Lynn and
Jamie.
Wait,
Wait.
no. Lane and Talia, sorry. They are really like,
Talia, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. They're like, well, we have to go with you into the woods if like you want this to happen, if you want us to show like where we found the tape. And then of course Peter and the other girl were just like, no, it's not happening. But that's not happening. They're all going off into the woods to try and find where this tape, allegedly they found this tape.
And then it says, the caption says heavy metal's playing. I'm like, that's not heavy metal. That's
It wasn't.
like doom metal, maybe, you know?
At least put some Pantera on or something. They don't have the rights for that.
They don't have the rights for that. It's only $5 million budget. Which I'm like, where did this $5 million go?
Where did, well,
Like,
the drones? No, they don't call us that
drone.
one drone.
At first, for a second, I thought they said they only had a drone, and then I figured they just put like a camera on like a crane and just like lifted it up because I didn't think it was actually a drone.
So you were surprised.
Why didn't you use it?
Oh, it's actually a drone that they got for like a day.
See, all right, I'll give them this. In comparison to the last movie where Heather and the other two guys parked it like on the side of the road and be like, yeah, we'll find the car. Like here's like, this looks like a parking lot.
It does. Like it's set up.
Parking lot. You're going to come back to it.
Yeah. Like it's set up with logs to kind of indicate that. Yeah. And there's a trail, there's a proper trail. So it's like, okay, this is where people might go hiking. Oh, and maybe they take a wrong turn.
They haven't made it yet, I think. No. All right, so we got Peter making fun of Lane because he's just giving him a hard time because, which is like, I don't know why you would want to instigate,
Especially if you do think he is a racist, but I get it. And so Talia and Lane are doing this whole more backlore stuff. It's really boring, honestly. It's just like...
Well, it kind of makes sense later
when
we get to it. They don't really bring up... They talk about Coffin Rock and the 7 kids that went missing from the first one, but like...
And Rustin Parr is the guy, obviously, from the first one that murdered the kids. I didn't know that was his name, so I did find that out in this one. I don't know if they mentioned that in the other one.
They might have.
Or maybe we just missed it. Yeah, back in the 1940s, Rustin Parr brought 8 kids back into the house in the woods and killed them, one by one in the corner. So I guess, do we ever really find out that, like, is it the Blair Witch or is it that guy that's like haunting this one? Or I don't know. I'm still kind of confused.
No, so part of it was that, that apparently she had the power to like influence people.
Yeah, because she does, like,
to do
clearly.
her bidding.
But
so Rustin Parr would say that, Blair Witch told her to do these things.
To kill. So what's the creature in the end then? Sorry I don't want to remember.
Watch. Well, I guess we can get to it, like whatever. Spoiler alert for a movie that's like, 5 years old.
Spoiler alert for a movie that's old. And if you're listening to this podcast, you know that we kind of already do this anyway.
Oh, what was actually funny is that with how like crisp and clean like the movie looks, the shakiness in it just fucking drove me up the wall. I couldn't, like I almost threw up once. I was just like,
because it's like, again, it's not like the first one where it's fuzzy and you're kind of like, it's this really clearly like home footage, where this one's like, it's beautifully shot, it's crystal clear, and so they're shaking around the camera and you're like, I might have a seizure, or it might just like...
Yeah, because we literally just had like a 5-second shot of just like floor for a second. I'm just like, rough, my eyes.
Yeah. And then she just like shot it up into the sun and into like the trees and like shook it around for some reason. Like, wait, what? Why? Tried to spook us during the day?
Yeah. So it's trying to spook. So I don't even understand why they're being such dickheads if they know they're going to like some fucking woods and looking for his sister that might be missing. Like, I don't understand like where this mindset comes from.
Yeah, I know.
Like, fucking with everybody. And it's just like, it would be interesting to know like how this would have worked out if it had been more like the first one where it was all improv. Like, that would have been interesting. Just giving instructions on what to do.
There's a lot, like you just said, there's just a lot of, why are these characters going into it just being assholes? Like, it's just, I don't know. It makes them really unlikable, I guess. So I guess it doesn't really matter because we all like, it's just like, okay, they're just kind of unlikable anyway.
Yeah, I mean, is it supposed to go through that like that slasher thing where we're gonna want to see our characters get impaled because we have no sympathy for them anyway. So we're like, yeah, cool, awesome, we get more out of it. But I feel like you get more out of it when you sympathize with your characters.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Because like Josh in the original, remember how like he was just like, hey, I signed on for a scouted path and now you've got me lost in this woods, and he loses it and you feel bad for him because you're like, fucking Like that could
Yeah, I
have
feel
happened.
nothing for any of these guys.
No, and these guys, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, they're all just kind of like mad.
Nobody picks up their pants when they walk into the water.
I know, bonkers. You guys are gonna walk around with wet pants?
Yeah, Mei Ling is spinning her hand as you said bonkers, and it's just like you guys are the same person.
We are a little bit.
Yeah, you guys sociopaths.
People were going to die.
People, and I think here's where we made our wrong turn. We crossed
This
the
is
lake.
the
We crossed
wrong
the river.
turn. Yeah, this is it. And now Talia's Talia and Lane, the two that should be like very suspicious of, all of them just wet pants.
They let their pants get. I mean, why wouldn't you just try to find a log to cross, or like,
I know.
you know, like you took off your
And we
shoes,
know
well,
they're
just take
never
off your
going to
pants
follow
and just,
this river. They're not going to follow the river. They never do.
Oh, that's right. Because I was actually the smartest thing you said last time. I was just like, oh shit, that's right. They would have survived.
But you're right. I feel like if you would have just walked a little further, you probably could have found maybe a shallower part, some rocks. Just do a little more scouting. But now, Ashley has hurt her foot. She's stabbed her foot in like a rock or whatever, or a piece of glass of some sort, which is gnarly. Ooh, I would turn back right
That
there.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good. It gets worse later. But I would have like legit as her friend, I'd have been like, we got to go back.
Yeah,
Right?
that doesn't look like a cut. That looks like an
Like
open
a gash.
That's a gash.
It is a gash, and like you can't be walking around with that. I
They've
certainly
been
wouldn't.
out for 5 minutes.
They literally have them. Like you guys can just take your wet pants across back the river and get her to the doctor because that's not going to do shit.
Oh, yeah. Peter should have taken his girlfriend back.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, so Peter and Ashley are, they're the couple, and of course Peter didn't do anything.
And we have some sort of will they won't they between Lisa
These
and
two.
James over here.
James and
a lot of,
will they
a lot
will
of smiles being traded off, you know.
James and
Being
Lisa.
like, oh. Mm-hmm.
And so they're setting up camp immediately after she hurt her foot. So again, it's been like 15 minutes, and they're like, "All right,
I mean,
camp time." No, I mean she hurt her foot.
it's a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit of the comedic relief, which doesn't really land.
No, it wasn't funny.
All right, so going back to some of the movie, we have a
This Peter's so mad, can't get his tent.
oh, here we have our one of 3 drone shots that doesn't really go anywhere.
Yep, and they could like
Gives you
excuse me, like was whoever was actually operating this drone like only allowed to just go up and down, just up,
that's what I'm fucking saying.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
up, down. I know that's what you're saying, and I understand why you're mad because it's a drone. Like, get someone that knows how to use it if you got it.
like literally, I think I was on Instagram yesterday, and there was drone shots of like police busting a scene, like some people on the corner, and the drone shot just flew in just to like spy on people. Like, we can do amazing things with these fucking drones.
Yeah, and this
And
movie we're just gonna set it up. Just look at some trees. But you know what one of them does do later on in the movie that reminded me of you when you were like, why doesn't someone climb a tree? She does kind of use the drone to see if she can find out where it doesn't really work out for her, but in my head I was like, well, that's kind of like Edgar said, you know, like maybe someone should climb a tree. Like, use the drone, right?
Well, here, how about this? Maybe they didn't have permits to use these drones. Like, maybe,
That's
like apparently,
possible.
like it is a thing. Like, certain places have a certain amount of airspace that you can actually fly through. Over here,
And this is,
but
this movie came out in 2016, so we're saying this is 2015 that they're filming this. The drones are pretty
yeah.
new.
Oh no, it says that it's in the beginning of the movie. It says it's 2014. This footage was found. And
Okay,
we edited
so-
it, yada yada yada.
That's early time for drones.
Maybe. I
Maybe?
mean, it looks
2014?
pretty decent.
I was living in London at the time, so I don't. It feels like ages to go to me, but I don't know.
I think back then they already had like tiny ones that could follow you around for your Instagram bullshit, you know?
Back again with that
Yeah.
Bluetooth fucking camera. All of them in their little Bluetooth cameras. What are those?
And then her with her DSLR.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going into more. Who is the Blair Witch?
We find her name is Ellie Kedward. Ooh, tell us the story. Creepy
Ooh.
local.
Creepy local. She was accused of witchcraft, taking children's blood. I mean, East Coast, once again, witch trials, da-da-da-da. Assume she was eaten by animals. I don't know, I guess I don't have much to say about this scene. It just kind of gives us... Like, I guess they're trying to convince... Are they trying to convince them about, like, this is true, like, you should believe in the Blair Witch, even though they kind of already do or do not?
Or just kind of gives... So that right here is what Lane is saying right now, which it kind of sets up stuff that we see later. It was saying that Ellie Kenward wasn't just, like, left out into the woods, tied up. Like, they put her on essentially a makeshift rack.
Yeah, well,
where
then
they stretched out her body with...
tied cement to her to make her like limbs heavy or whatever.
Yeah. They tied rocks to her and they tied her arms to a tree so it would stretch her out. So when that thing we see later makes sense because you see this thing with elongated arms and you're like, oh shit.
The
so
creepy
like
things
she became
that
such a fucking
yeah.
Which I'm like, I didn't even put it together till this time that we saw it.
Yeah, I guess it's a useful information in terms of the lore of the Blair Witch.
And here we get some creepy sort of lore. Was just trying to say that, you know, the Blair Witch didn't get me in the beginning, but like, well, why am I here now? It's like, well, maybe you're already dead and you're coming back. I'm like, oh shit, that's not bad.
You're like, wait, what? Like, maybe she's using like to lure. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that. And they're all going to their tents. Da 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 da. Again, this is supposed to be his like little camera on his eyes, like, right?
Oh yeah, because there's a bunch of shots that don't make sense.
Exactly, but that's what I'm assuming. That's what those are.
Yeah,
like they're little Bluetooth cameras. Whenever you see like the ones that's very like that, because there are. I got confused. I was like, who's filming this? And then I had to remind myself that they all have their stupid little cameras.
I also forgot so many times.
I got so
It
confused.
doesn't make sense.
I was like,
so he turns it.
Yeah. Okay.
So he hears something. He turns it on.
Now it's facing him.
Then he faces it towards himself.
It's so silly. I want to recreate this. I think we could do it. We could go to the fucking Goodwill or wherever that cheap ass store we were the other day. Buy the stupidest shit.
And just say their cameras.
Just say their cameras. And be like, we're filming a documentary.
Like, how tiny does that battery have to be?
So tiny. There's no way that... And with that HD footage...
100%.
It lasts 2 minutes.
And getting that good like clarity at night. Like,
I can see him perfectly sitting in his tent.
100%.
Oh, God. Okay, so there's rumbling going outside of their tents.
This would have been good. And here we got one of our many jump scares that we're going to get later in this fucking movie.
I know. There are a few in this.
Oh.
This one got me. And it might get me again. Oh, God. I don't like the anticipation.
Lisa's showing a little leg. James can't help himself but take a gander.
Yeah. In the moment of pure horror, I can't help but look at your sexy legs.
Actually, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
That's how a straight guy would react.
Yeah, okay. I'm learning so much. Right.
I mean, granted, they came prepared, right? You know, they're trying to avoid some of the tropes, right? We got the phones, we got the GPS,
yeah,
we got the flashlights. They
had the first aid kit, much unlike in the first one where they're like, do they even have water? Like,
you were seeing them eat.
They had cigarettes and booze in the first one, but I was like, oh, that's not much.
Nobody smokes now. Nobody smoked in 2016. It's already
no, they vape.
No, I think this was before vaping.
Yeah, it might have been just really before vaping. Okay. They're going to go off.
Yeah, just stay in my tent. It's no problem.
No. No, Lisa. Stay in my tent. I'll be right back. Oh, God. And they're looking for Lane, right? Or Peter?
Mm-hmm. No, we have Lane. Lane went to go pee.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say.
Suspiciously when that tree fell.
Very suspiciously. Yeah, I do enjoy like a flashlight in the woods. It's kind of fun. But not when it's in color. It's less scary. Again, just reminds me of just being in my backyard growing up. It's like, yeah, what do you mean? That tree fell? All right.
So how accurate was that? As our resident
just the two of
as
us.
our resident outdoors person.
Oh, I don't know. It's okay. Let's just go back to camp, okay?
Yeah, Lane looks pretty startled. Oh man! So we should have prefaced that this movie got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's surprisingly high.
I believe it was not taken to screenings or prior screenings, so they really got no feedback on this movie before they released it.
Gotcha. They didn't have any like God, what's it? Focus groups or anything?
No.
All right, they're waking up the next morning to find all of the classic Blair Witch symbol, the wooden figures hanging in the trees, and like obviously Talia is like, "Oh, I can't believe it's true."
This is the start of like what I think is probably one of the better ideas that they introduced the movie, the gaps in time. Like
yes.
They're saying right now it's only 2 p.m. Everybody slept in for basically like 12 hours.
I would agree that was a really fun part of the movie, and we'll see later. Like, it just stays dark, which I kind of thought that was a little fun idea. I don't know if they did it as best as they could, but I liked it.
Well, like it's introduced here, then we find out that like the sun never comes up, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
That's such a good idea. Like you're lost in the woods, and
the sun never comes up. That's fucked up. Like, yeah,
so fucking good.
So like there are like those little things like that I did enjoy.
They could have kept playing with that.
I know.
They sort
I'm
of
like,
did
you
it,
had a good idea. Ugh.
And then here's that back shot of the campsite to just remind you this is what the campsite looks like.
This is what the campsite looks like, because just in case you guys didn't know, this is what it looks like, because you might see it again. Oh. Or that, and like later on also like them being like, we've been walking around for 2 days and it's been dark. Like again, like the sun doesn't come up. You're like, can you imagine?
Yeah, they're like we just saw you, and then they're like, no, we haven't seen you in like
2 days. Like, no, we just left you an hour ago. And you're like, what? Like those. It's like, are you just losing your mind? Like the woods has become some like vortex. Like you've entered.
100%. They could have done more of that. That would have been so good.
Yeah, like turn it into some like sci-fi. Like.
Yeah, because going back to another movie we love talking about, Cube, you know,
yeah,
like
I'm
pretty sure that happens in Cube, right? The first one where they leave the guys and the one guy just ends up murdering the other guy for like, you know, he keeps finding other versions of himself to murder or what have you. I can't remember. I
don't know. I mean, we'll be doing Cube next for sure. So, God, I do enjoy Cube. Okay, so now they're finding out that Talia and Lane, in fact, built the creepy little wood figures just to try to convince them that it's a true story. Because they're finding the twigs and they're finding the rope and everything that they used, and now they're all mad at them, for obvious reasons.
You kind of figure out that's what probably Lane was doing the night before.
Exactly. That's why Lane ran off to pee, and then, you know, there was all that stuff. But this is where they basically like tell them to leave. And if we know anything, don't be fucking with that witch. Don't be playing tricks.
Well, they were trying to convince them, right? They were trying to convince them that there was something out there.
If those two truly knew their history, they wouldn't have been doing that. And
I love this part right here at the immediate turnaround. The they're like, "Oh, we fucked up. We don't need you fucking guys," and they'll literally come right back. Be like, "No, we don't have a GPS."
They're like, he gives them a middle finger. He's like, "Fuck you guys!" Like he's this badass, and like 2 seconds later, actually, I think we're gonna have a hard time out here.
I'm like, actually, I don't know how to get out of here. If you could just point me in the direction.
You cave in so quickly. You're just like, actually, I just.
You know what? That's genuine. I feel that's kind of genuine. You know,
I do kind of admire that about him. Just be like,
most realistic part of this movie.
Actually, I don't want to be lost in this woods. So if I could, I'll be quiet. But if I could just follow you guys. Oh god!
I mean, granted, right? You betrayed their trust.
Yeah.
You tricked them in coming out here under false pretenses. Like nobody's gonna fucking believe you. After that,
no, there's no way. I'd set them on fire.
But also, like common decency, like like you might be sending them to their death if you don't help them find their way out of here. Why is this guy so upset? I don't understand why Peter's so fucking
movie. He's just I think he has like PTSD or something.
Yeah. And
you don't find that out. I'm just guessing.
Oh.
Now James is having a moment because he truly thought Heather. Does he still think Heather is alive? Because I think that is bonkers.
100%.
But if he was maybe being like, maybe I could find some sort of closure, a skeleton, a body. I don't know what he was. But if he thinks she's alive, dude, get therapy.
Granted, movie comes out in 2016. The original came out in 99. 17 years later, whatever. It was supposed to be 2014 when this one came out, was recorded, whatever, 15 years later after the original movie. Or not even because because the original one takes place in 1996.
Also,
so even further.
So, and also
how
the
old
timing?
is James supposed to be?
Exactly. What? So how old is James when she disappears? 1?
Fucking
2? Did he even know his sister?
Like, I would have been... All right, so say Heather would have been like 20, 21.
Okay, she was in college, so let's just say 21. Like, she's a junior in college.
She was drinking.
Yeah, they were drinking. So juniors in college, 21.
In 99. Right? So how old would James have to have been in 1996? In 96, maybe I was, I don't even know. And I was in 96, I was 11.
And how old do you think he is in this movie? They're out of college?
He looks like maybe he's 25.
No, but wait, I'm sorry. Is she doing a college documentary? The girl that he likes, Lisa? Is this for her college?
Yeah. They're in class, they said.
So they're also in college.
So they're early 20s.
Again.
He would have been 5 then.
Okay. Well,
because if the movie takes place over the span of 17 years, then 17 minus 21, 22, what do you got? He's 5 years old.
Okay, well, it's a stretch. Anyway, they're back at their campsite from earlier. They walked in a big old circle. It's just a stretch. I'm not saying that there isn't hurt there or whatever, but I'm like, okay, you were 5 when your sister went missing. Also, your sister's in college. How often did you see her? You were probably like a little bit of an accident baby, or she was an accident baby. It's a big age gap.
Well, it was also, I mean, given the benefit of the doubt, he would have been, given the benefit of the doubt, he would have heard about Heather his entire life.
Yeah.
You know, photos on the wall, missing sister, lost potential,
this
tragedy.
Huge hit. I mean, they don't tell us that it was a film, but like, they're just making you think that, oh yeah, we all know the story of how she went missing. And
yeah. I mean, I do like how every time Ashley, so we're back at the campsite. They walked in a big old circle, coincidentally, and then turns out Ashley's just in a lot of. I do like how every time Ashley steps, it just sounds like a branch breaking.
Oh, I know.
And I'm just like, that sounds awful.
Oh.
dealing with a lot of rolled ankles and like not properly healed injuries. I'm just like, I feel for her the most.
And we're gonna see another look at her foot later, and it's good though. It's gross. It's good.
Oh, here's some of those shots that don't line up.
Yeah,
so we
this
got
is
Peter walking into Ashley's. You tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.
Okay, so he's talking. So this is literally her little Bluetooth camera because he puts his hand up and like it's her forehead, like we're her.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's
then
perfect
now
90 degree.
Who's this person?
He's looking at her foot.
It's not him.
He's looking at her foot.
But how? I guess. All right. It's
no,
weird.
it's not.
It's a weird
this is exactly
angle.
what I thought too.
It's a weird angle. I just tried to do it right now. It doesn't make any
100%.
sense.
No,
That would be his.
No.
That it would be his weird little camera. It wouldn't look like that.
Uh-huh.
But that foot is gnarly. Is it bad? Oh no. Just put some ointment on it, and there's like a creature in there, which is...
I feel like I hear that line in a lot of movies. Just like, is it bad?
Is it okay? Yeah. This is such a lie.
And granted, this is probably one of the better concepts that they put in. The fact that, you know, essentially the force is infecting Ashley slowly, a little Evil Dead-ish.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. Oh, here's our third drone shot.
Yeah. Here we go, and it's the same exact drone shot.
This is why I thought it was a crane. This was like,
you're like, it can't be, right? It's just doing the same thing it did before.
I never once do they go side to side.
No, you might be correct. It might have been a crane, but you see the drone, but it might not have been working at all. They just like got a
because
fake one.
In one of the shots they use there's a shadow, so you're like, oh, okay, there's a drone right there.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that in post though, but who knows? This is so stupid. True. The fucking like remote thing she has.
Oh yeah, right.
Game, like the game controller thing. It looks like a video game.
Oh, is this why we know it's bullshit drone? Because
that's not how a drone works. I'm sorry. Were you playing Call of Duty? What are you
doing? and she's not very upset by losing. Like, she's a little upset, but I would have been fucking.
Yeah, I'd have been like, that cost.
I would have lost my shit.
Yeah, you would have been so angry. But like, she just kind of like, oh fuck, my drone.
Also, here's another inconsistency here. Watch. Peter went to go get wood for the fire tonight, right?
Yeah.
But when we come back to the campsite, there already is a fire there. So I'm like, what the fuck is Peter out there doing if he's not getting wood for the fire?
Scratching his butt. I don't know. Yeah, the continuity issues in this is insane. Like, did they even have anyone on set being like, like, just
where did this money go?
Where did the money go? Like, how are these shots being filmed? That nothing lines up. Who's filming what? Like,
here we go.
The fire, and then he comes back.
Well, look, you could tell that Lisa's looking straight at him, right?
Yes.
So the camera would be, but look, see how his face is? It would be pointing downward.
It would be
towards her legs, I guess. You know, like back on it.
And also, it's because hers is in her
left ear,
so it's not consistent with the way that we're looking at him either. It should have been more toward. Yeah, it's just nope. Hey, I took some film classes. I'm not that great.
Hey, no, I'm. You know what? But you see those little. But look, we're back with Peter, and he's looking for.
He's got his firewood. He's got firewood, and then he drops it.
But there's already a fire going.
There's already a fire going.
And here we have the beginning of the end for Peter.
Yep, Peter's about to. Yeah, and also his girlfriend Ashley is like super sick and has a fever still because her foot's all fucked up. Yep, and then we see.
Also, the noises in this one were a little bit more different than the original one. They didn't settle on the little kid noises,
and I think they should have. And there also wasn't a lot of like, I mean, there was a lot of sticks breaking, But I liked the rocks, like the rock sounds in the first one. They did do it a bit, but it wasn't. Yeah. Oh, Peter's going through it.
And I mean, I would be lost. Like, I would give him that. Like, I would have no idea where to go from this point. Like,
No, what do you do? I mean, truly. I mean, would you just sit down and be like, I'm going to rest? Or would you just be like, I'm picking a direction and going for it? Or,
I mean, maybe hide until, whatever you hear. Like you said, you hear things breaking, right?
yeah. Because you'd like to think that he didn't go that far from their alleged camp. But again, with the time loops and stuff that we're learning about, we don't actually know how far he went. They should have made this more sci-fi. It could have been really a much cooler movie.
Yeah, for a second I thought this would have, like, this tree falling was a tree from the night before.
Yeah.
Since we're all playing with time loops and things like that. I'm like, oh, that would have been amazing.
That would have.
Out there. Peter's dead the night before.
The night before.
No idea.
I know, that would have been really cool, but they don't make that connection whatsoever.
I'll give him this. So Peter's stuck underneath the tree.
Yeah.
So apparently the Blair Witch is out there knocking down trees. And we do get a little shadowy figure, which is really, really interesting to do because it's already super dark.
Mm-hmm.
We have one source of light, and then I think our next shadowy figure, like the next shadow that played, this one just kind of tripped me out. Like, it almost looks like it's done in post.
Yeah.
But it kind of creeped me out. I was just like, oh, how did they do that?
Oh, yeah,
But, I mean,
it definitely
it's
looks like it was done in post. But it was cool. I liked it, yeah. Peter. That's the last we see of him.
Was he already taken? I feel like I missed it. Oh, you might have...
No, we talked about the shadow you did. It was very quick. Because he was in there, like, with his hand, and they...
What I also feel like lacks is that once Peter goes missing, they're stuck out in the woods. Is there kind of sense of urgency that we got with the original one? Like, we felt for Heather and the other two.
Yeah, yeah.
Josh and I can't remember the other name. Oh.
Josh, Heather, and
Mike,
yeah. Oh, Mike was the one that... Josh was the one that went missing. Mike was the one that didn't want to.
Like, we felt
yeah. We did, because we were like, fuck. Because their sense of panic felt real. Like, it felt like no, you guys, like, we got this. I got a map. And then day by day, it would grow before you just see these people break. And these guys, like... These guys, they're just dinking around. I don't know. She's put up her little oh yeah, she's like, I don't feel so good. Barf.
Which is weird though, because she goes through bouts of like not feeling good and like limping around to like these. She climbs a tree in like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, she does. No, and so it's like, I guess fight or flight maybe that like kicks in. You're just kind of like, I don't give a shit. Like, I gotta do this.
And here we're just pummeled with this, jump scare after jump scare.
Yeah.
And I like how he just goes back without Peter. Just like...
He's like, I couldn't find him.
Couldn't find him. Here's his flashlight.
Couldn't find him. It's all over for us now.
Yeah.
We need to stay together. Famous last words.
I also don't understand... Oh, I guess they put a camera out there in case anybody messes with them.
Yeah, she did. She put it in a tree. We did see that. It wasn't... That's not an inconsistent. At first, I thought it was. I was like, "Where the fuck did this camera come from?" But then you see her.
But I was trying to figure out like
tying it in a tree.
I was like, why? Oh, but now.
Well, at this point, I don't know. Okay, so here we go. So this is his head. I'm going to critique the whole thing now. So there again, these are their little head cameras. So hers. These angles are not correct at all.
Maybe his angle might be all right,
Hers?
because Hers, no. But
No.
also, people forget like how much your head moves.
Yeah, like,
Like, yeah, you get a
and
little bit of
it's
it right now.
from their ear, so it's like we're not looking at your eye point. It is lower, a tad bit lower, and in your ear, like your cheek.
This reminds me of Wrong Turn Part 3. You know, and it's just like they everybody had their little camera. Is that around their neck or something, or their
Is that the
earpieces
third
or
one?
whatever? The second one, what was it with
This-
Henry Rollins?
Oh, that's the second one.
One of they.
That's the second one.
Did it do it? But who
Don't
did it
start
better, Courtney?
No, that's the second one because they're on like a reality show and they have the cameras around their necks to like get their own footage.
I like how they only took them 2 movies to get to reality show. Like,
Yeah, second
that's
one they're like
something
reality show. Third one prison. Fourth one snowmobiles. Like it's just
Well, I would have seen the prison one. Oh, yeah, it would have been all right. All right.
all right. Now Talia and Lane are back, and this is where we found that they're like, we haven't seen the sun, and they're like, we saw you like an hour ago. And they're like, we haven't seen you for like 5 or 6 days or something.
That's pretty good. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
and I like that. I think that was like a really kind of eerie, like, whoa, sun hasn't come
could you
up.
imagine? Could you imagine like they would have ran into him like, all right, so say, so Lane runs off again. Imagine, and then like they find him again, and he's eating Talia or something because he's just so hungry.
Yeah,
Or
because
vice
he's like,
versa.
I've been out here for 15 days. And they're like, I saw you 20 minutes ago. Like something so fucked up like that.
It all would have happened in the same night. Like and he just kept coming back the
Edgar,
same night.
we might have to copyright this. We might have to save this episode and copyright our movie idea
Might have to,
about
I'm just
getting
gonna
lost
play a
in the
beep,
woods.
beep.
Beep. Just the whole episode just go beep and then beat out nobody. Because we might have just found a really fun horror movie idea.
Right here, Talia's she's been in some stuff.
Talia.
She was in the Tick TV show, and I've seen her face. So she's out there. She's doing fine.
All I know is that James guy had like a little bit of a YouTube career for a while, but I don't know what he's up to. The other ones? No, the one girl, Lisa, she was in Truth or Dare.
Okay.
Which came out a few years ago, which was okay. There was a couple of
I
them,
think
but she was in like the main one that went to theaters.
she was also in Alien Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest Jennifer Lopez blockbuster, Shotgun Wedding.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that.
So she's doing fine.
She's fine. She's pretty. She's fine.
So, and then for a while, I was trying to figure out this shot right here.
Yeah,
like,
well,
apparently they
because
just
they're cuddling, right? So whose camera is this?
apparently it's just the DSLR just sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you just left it on?
You just left it on. You're like, I just need to take a video of me cuddling. Again, more of these like, they can't figure out what time it is. She's like, I set my alarm for 7 a.m., but it's still dark outside. See, I love that, like that little part of it. Like, it's really trippy.
Yeah, like at this point, would you like, oh, here we got the classic rocks, little rock mounds.
Yep, here they are.
And we got a lot more.
And now we have a lot more of these things. And of course, their go-to is like, obviously, it's Talia and Lane, because they fucked with him the first time.
Why wouldn't they do the second night? And here
Exactly.
we go. They've upped it to like 100.
But now they've added a little rock. But yeah, there's like, before there was like 3 or 4. Now there's like clearly hundreds. There is a cool scene coming up that I did like.
Oh,
You
I know
what
what
I'm
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
That I was like, oh, like I kind of forgot about it and was like, that's kind of cool. Like,
Like, this is so crisp. Like, Talia's dirty and,
yeah.
but I could see everything that's on her face.
Okay, so I know.
And it is nighttime.
Exactly. Like she's filthy, cut up, bloody. And now Talia is about to notice Hold on, they're all freaking out, kind of screaming at each other. Ashley was fucked up, sick.
You know what's a missed opportunity here is the thing that happens to Ashley's leg. Like, yeah, she's getting infected by the woods.
Why couldn't there been a gross like thing crawling up her leg or something? You know?
Where does that go though? Like she's getting infected by the woods.
It goes nowhere. Like they showed a creepy like.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. So Talia finds out that one of these wooden dolls has her hair in it. That something put her hair in it. And then Ashley's like, of course it's your hair. You did it. And here we go.
I love
Bam! So Ashley breaks this wooden doll that had Talia's hair in half, and then Talia snaps in half right in front of him. And
you see her react in the background, and like in the background, and it's just like everything starts shaking at once, and everybody, I feel like they're just moving the camera just like
the director was just like shaking it as they're all screaming.
It worked. It works really well.
Okay,
though.
in
Like
the scene. But it was cool. I enjoyed it just because it was a nice connection. Like the fact that the witch had cursed her basically by putting her hair in that doll, and it was like a voodoo doll, basically. There's the word.
And I didn't mind the one jump scare after another. They were doing it. They do the 1-2. They give you one jump scare and then they're gonna hit you with another one because you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
And the tents go flying in the air, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, all right. Everybody starts freaking out. Everybody's running. Do you think you're going to get a memorable scene like you had in the OG? But
I think they were trying, because like, you remember we talked about in the OG where you don't see a monster. It's all about like the creepy sounds and like the laughter and like what's lurking, and which makes it like an iconic horror movie. Whereas with this one, I think they're just kind of like, let's try to up it and like really scare with the jump scares, which I don't mind, but it's just kind of, again, too crispy clear. Like it's just the angles.
If anything, this is what's memorable. This one is like how we had Heather's face and the first one, Lisa's face kind of becomes the center of this movie.
It does,
and it's what
exactly
we remember the most, even though she doesn't have any sort of poignant moments like Heather does. But all I do remember is just Heather just fucking just looking at the camera, crying, snot covered in dirt and blood. So Ashley's out on her own, limping along in the woods.
God.
But like I said, so if this would have, like, imagine if the woods just would have kept on going, just coming out of her body from all sides.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Like, or something like it just. Because you can see, like, now, like, her whole leg is bloody. And like you're saying, it had been... So it's, like, going up her leg. They should have just added more to it. Like, look at that thing.
Where did the money go, Lebowski?
Where did the money go, Lebowski? Oh!
That, yeah.
It's a worm that... Oh.
It's like a worm, but you see it's just a root, right?
Yeah, it's just like pus. But it like looked like a worm.
Oh no! Oh. Like it's pus because it's infected.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then like, right yeah, that thing. Oh.
I thought that was a root. Essentially, I thought the forest was trying to get.
Ugh.
Did she just get a really bad staph infection? It had nothing to do with the woods.
It just was a really dirty piece of glass she stepped on.
Sorry.
Oops. Oh God! Again, once I hurt my foot like that, if my foot fucking looked like that, I'd have been like, "You guys, we're going back. I can't do this." Like,
I would not have. She walked normal the entire way. Like I would have been limping like crazy, hopping around.
And so now James and Lisa are trying to find Ashley, so they're all separated, but James and Lisa are together.
Of course they are.
Of course, because he's in love with her.
Over Thelma and Fred over here.
And now here's a little playback as to the witch plays tricks on you, I guess. Uses people's voices. Remember how she used Josh's voices to like lure them into thinking he was still alive.
See, but this was a weird jump scare though, because it was just a jump scare of just noise, and then Lisa screaming into the camera. I'm like, what the fuck is the jump scare? And I kind of have like no idea what's going on.
But this
and like for the rest of the movie, this is what the movie becomes.
This
is
just
just Lisa's face and the
Lisa's
camera.
face. She's crying constantly. And it's just constant movement. And back to what you were saying, where you're like, it's just, it kind of makes you want to be sick, and you kind of like turn away. You're like, it's just a lot of her crying into this camera.
Like, also, it doesn't line up. Like, if you were looking at her from the camera in your ear, it wouldn't be dead center.
It wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't. Also, what is she fogging up? What lens? Because his ears, it doesn't make any sense.
No, this makes most sense. Also, like, I would have kept moving. No way I would have I stayed there.
They got to stop for a little pep talk. Like, I love you.
Ming would have been like, move your ass. We are getting out of here now. Find the car.
Oh, yeah. There'd be no stopping. There'd be no stopping to have a little romantic powwow.
No time would you be stopping to have a reaffirmation. Be like, we're okay. Breathe.
Breathe.
Fuck no.
I love
Maybe
you.
in a corner.
Fuck off.
Under a rock.
Like, we got to get out of here, okay? Are you with me or not?
Move.
Move your ass. Honestly, if the three of us got stranded, I think we might be okay, because we'd be like the sane ones. We'd be like, well, what the fuck's going on here, guys?
Okay, so this is the other thing too.
Oh god, the drone. Right. The drone. Okay.
Ashley finds the fucking drone, right? She just happens to have a remote for it in her fucking pocket.
She just happens to have the game controller remote for it.
Does it work? Does it work on your phone without any Wi-Fi signal? Like,
without any Wi-Fi? Does she even have the code? Like, it just doesn't make any sense that she would have access to this drone.
Yeah.
But she's trying. She's about to climb this motherfucking tree, all beat up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, because she wants to find Peter, right? So she's like, if I find the drone, I can maybe find my way out of here. Maybe I can find Peter. Yada yada yada. Yeah,
her logic is sound, I suppose. She's not acting like it doesn't hurt at all. I'm sorry. I feel like I guess fight or flight. She's just pushing through the pain.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the bottom of her foot. It's not her ankle, actually. Like, if it was my ankle, like, ugh.
Yeah, but the bottom of your foot, you're trying to climb that tree?
Well, you could use the ball of your foot, not the heel, you know?
Your whole foot's going to be fucking hurt. How much that looked infected, your whole leg fucking hurts.
All right, here we got the Christmas drone of death here.
Yep. The Christmas drone.
Sorry, it's just the red and green lights, and I'm like, all right.
It is. I'm like, it's a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas
that's
tree.
Something we could do that. We can do Black Christmas, the original, and the remake.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely should. Yes. That'll be our holiday special.
Okay, all right. This is the only jump scare that I think really, really works.
I do like it.
This is the only one I thought was all right. So the movie does have, some saving graces. She looks tired. Supposedly this drone shot isn't that great. So I'm like, maybe it is a drone. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but yes, that was so good. I liked it.
And then boom, gets taken like immediately.
She just gets that thing bops her out of the fucking tree, falls, and then he takes her, and I was like, that ruled. I enjoyed it.
That worked.
Yeah, that worked.
Every once in a while.
Does the whole thing work? We'll get to it at the end. No.
This is where probably the money went. I think this
the money, honestly, right, it must have gone into a lot of post. It had to.
Oh, just all the editing and all the fucking glitches that
Yeah.
they fucking put in.
And then the creature that we see, that's all made in post. That thing?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, they didn't. No, not a.
Do you think that was a guy in a green suit? In a green
not a
suit?
special? Yeah, not a practical effect. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, when we get to it, I'll take a better look. I didn't. I thought it was all done in post, the way it looked.
What I appreciate is that you barely get a glimpse of it. You can't really tell what that face looks like.
No.
You can't. You can only get limbs.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I was like, it reminds me, except for in Signs, that alien really scared the fuck out of me, even though it was all created CGI.
If they just wouldn't have shown the alien at all, like that movie would have been like. I mean, it's a pretty good movie.
No, it is a pretty good movie, but I remember, like, you know, that scene. I know where you guys, they're just walking through the rain. Now they found the spooky house. But in Signs, when you see when the alien on TV and they're like, oh, like, I remember just being terrified.
But I remember, like, you remember, you told me that house was
the
why
real
do you think
house.
It's your sister, bro?
What in real life, they tore it down because too many people were going to it. This is a completely different house.
Completely.
It's not even the house that Heather died in. So, James, get it together. You cannot think she's still alive. I would be.
I'm surprised you just. Really surprised you just leave them like. This is where I kind of got confused because I forgot that he left her outside for a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you follow him? Like, why would you be stuck out there? You know you're not safe anywhere in the woods.
It's true. Like, how much safer are you going to be in there? You're not safe in general. I don't know. I guess go inside where it's not raining.
Better chance of just being together.
Yeah.
This house is fucked up, but apparently the doorknobs still work.
Yeah. I can still. The doorknobs are in tip-top shape.
The doorknobs are like perfectly polished
They're
brass.
perfectly polished. They open. I'm like, nothing. The house like is barely staying. Oh God. This the shaking hand. All right, so now a little throwback. We have Peter standing in the corner, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was. It'd be supposed to be Peter, but then like we get.
Well, there was a person standing in the corner there for a second.
No, it looks like Peter, but all of a sudden this turns into a haunted house, and now we just get glimpses of things. Like the only thing that correlates is the witch at the end. But like this little creepy scene coming up right now. Watch with the. This is also get kind of confusing. They have to I feel like they have to lay it out twice so you know where we're going. Apparently, this house that's 3 floors.
Yeah.
And here we get we get somebody who's not the witch. So
that's not the witch. We don't know who that is, but it's something paranormal. There's actually like 5 flights of stairs in this house. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck? All right, watch. This part right here. He looks back, and then
wait. It's coming up. I know what you mean.
This little, no, it didn't happen yet. This little right there, that little saunter, the little like what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
The little jig into that's the only thing that creeped me the fuck out. What was that?
What was it?
It looked like a raccoon.
It makes it look like a raccoon.
What did she say?
It said it looked like a raccoon.
Kind of. It looked like a small person.
And then like that person, like I think right now we get that. Hey, who the fuck is that?
Oh, who the fuck is that? Heather? I love that. He thought it was his dead sister. Heather? Is it you? Oh.
You know what? I'll take it back to the original where it'd be like Heather was right. Like after 20 years, Heather would have found her way out of that fucking forest. Like America's not that big.
America's not that big, you guys. We can't get lost out here. One of the best lines. America's not that big. Heather, historically, it's huge, okay? That's right. Lisa's still outside.
Lisa, I like how you could just cut and then we have like a whole different sequence out here.
Yeah, like we were supposed to be scared shitless, and then Lisa's just standing outside.
This was probably. I feel like I do get glimpses of like figures out in the forest. Like I don't know if that's like except for that one. That one.
Oh, that thing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That gross thing. It might be like a second behind you. So yeah, Lisa's going in now, but now there's.
And this, just because like the first person perspective, this feels so much like a game now. All of a sudden. Well,
It's a no. I was just I wrote this down in my notes. I was like, video game. I was like, we're playing a video game now, where we're in a haunted house, especially with their hands and everything.
I totally forgot to tell you, they made this into a video game that came out this year.
Yeah, I looked that up too. I was just like, oh, so they actually did. I wonder if it's any good, because now it is just a video game.
Apparently
the whole time I was just like,
reviews on the game is apparently spectacular. It's supposed to be like kind of like a psychological mindfuck. It's a guy goes in with his dog, I believe, and haunted by his past, and Blair Witch is just out there to fuck with him.
Oh, here's Lane.
This is the part I thought sucked the most. Lane just looks like they just added a bunch of shit to his face. Like, this is not.
Yeah. You have to do what she tells you. Like, okay. And then Lane just.
I mean, I believe that fall. I believe she fucking ate it against that wall. Like, that was.
Yeah.
And this is where I kind of thought the movie, like, in her sequence, I thought
when he pushes her
I thought that was
going
to be the end of the movie. Like,
it kind of would have worked, honestly. Don't you
yeah,
think?
imagine he just closes it and then
just closes it and he's like, they're gone. And like Lane was behind it the whole time, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it could have been a solid ending, but then we just go right back into video game land.
Yeah, it just keeps on going. Like you
yeah.
Yeah, I guess this would have benefited for some editing. Damn, I wonder if we could re-edit this to make it like much better.
I'm wonder where we could get I'm certain we could make this
Snyder cut
way better than it is. This is the Zack Snyder cut.
This is where it just keeps. I mean, I feel for her because she goes through some shit right now.
Okay, this gives me so much claustrophobia.
So much anxiety. Hey, here.
This is where I would die. This is where I would die because I would be like, you guys, I can't go through.
I would have just kept trying to get out through that fucking door. No way would have crawled to a small 2-foot hole.
No, there's no fucking way. Because the panic would have set in. I know me. The panic would have set in, and I would have suffocated myself instantly. There's no way. Yeah, I would have just tried to keep going at that door.
The only thing that
I don't think that
makes me think this is all right is that this is just a set, and like she can easily break through
exactly.
the wall. Like.
Well, me too. That's in my head. I was like, this is a movie. Like, they were just watching her. It's probably not nearly as tiny as we think it is. But holy shit. It's wet.
Yeah. I was like, why would it be wet? I was just like, oh, because of the rain. I was like, oh. I thought she was going to come out on the other side of the...
Yeah.
Also, where she comes out doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I thought she was going to literally come out outside of the house, like next to the tree, because they talk about the tree with the lightning, which is something they bring up into the movie and then never comes back. And I'm like, it is funny how she throws the camera every time like this and it lands perfect.
Throws it perfect. See this part, like this is where I would panic and then suffocate.
Go spelunking, Mig?
She's like, no. Because I know I've mentioned this movie before several times because it's one of my favorites, The Descent. Because there is a very similar scene where she gets stuck in the cave.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
And her friend has to like go back and she's like, you need to breathe. Because if you panic, that's when it all ends. And I was like, I don't think there's one person that could tell me to calm down in that situation. I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, I would just be afraid that shit would just fall on me. The whole thing would just collapse. That's what.
Yeah.
And granted, like through the span of the movie, you could go to tell like she's a very skinny girl, so like her not to be able to fit through this tiny ass hole, like.
Yeah. Me, no way.
I like how she has to do it twice, and it almost seems like she got stuck twice. Like I was like, oh, one's not enough. Also, I have no idea where she got this thing from. This giant.
Yeah, where did she get that?
Yeah, never once has it ever been. Oh, she just had.
Has it been in her pocket this whole time?
Giant utility tool. Looks like it.
She's like, oh yeah, I can break out. Oh yeah.
I do like how she has to set the camera up like every time just to.
Yeah. Gotta make sure my hair looks cute.
Why does he just look like a hobo?
I know.
Yeah, it's just mostly like these fucking noises that just kind of throw you off. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Because you can't correlate anything to the sound.
Because I like, again, with the doorknobs, this one's locked. Clearly we can't get in there. I couldn't break it down with my foot.
Yeah, this house is 100 years old. You should be able to just like push through the wall.
See, okay, here's this thing. Here's the thing. We saw it for a second, but we'll see it again.
Yeah. All right, so essentially we just saw what is the clip that we find at the beginning of the movie.
In the beginning. Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the part that gets me. She went through some shit, and then she finds this guy. He just walked through the house like nothing happened to him. She's been through the fucking ringer, and like he's just like, "Hey, what's going on? What happened to you? You okay?"
Yeah. He's like, "I think I found Heather.
It's like
we're in the attic."
And these alien lights. What the fuck?
I know. I'm like, at first they were lightning, but now it's straight up like there's someone's looking in.
Because now we're in a sci-fi movie. It's UFO lights.
They could have went so sci-fi with this, and it would have been better.
Which the don't look thing is a good gimmick, right? Because if you don't look at it, right, she can't get you. But so like,
yeah, you don't look at it.
So you got to use the camera, and then you don't actually have to see what's coming at you.
Yeah, but then he immediately doesn't listen to his own rule.
Yeah, he doesn't even try not to.
No, because he thinks he hears Heather's voice. He goes, Heather? Like, you guys didn't know you knew.
I will give it to I think her name is Kaylee Hernandez, Lisa. Like, she looks like she's fucked up. Like, she looks like she's like super.
I don't have any problem with her acting.
She looks like she is in shock right now.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be?
Look at it. Fucking rough.
She just murdered somebody, for Christ's sake.
I'm sure that's not even...
If she were to survive this, she would have to go back with that. I do like that little... That, like, you just being like, why is he completely clean? And she's just like, Dude, he was just hanging out in the 100%, attic while she was going through it.
I was like, that's so fun.
It's fucked. And immediately he's like, Heather? And then he just turns around.
Well, so you kind of hear that he's having a conversation with himself. So essentially, the witch is getting into your head, fucking with you. So it's not really entirely his fault.
No, I know. But... And then now she does the thing with the camera. Where we get to see a little bit more of this Blair Witch. I'm not really convinced that that's her. I'm not really sure what it is.
Yeah, because then it becomes instead of a witch movie, kind of it becomes like a monster movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing.
But it gives me very, very Wreck vibes because it almost looks like some of those zombies in that movie. And of course, with the grainy footage and all, it just adds to more and more of the similarities. But I'm saying this is what you get most. Like this becomes the iconic shot of this movie. It's just her face like this. And then
But I guess it is supposed to be her because it's like if you don't look at her. But
see, but the weird thing is that right here, she just fell for the same thing. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, she was James, and then just that's it for her.
So, like I was saying, like before, so this video becomes the video they find at the beginning. So this whole thing becomes some sort of weird time loop, time traveling movie, and I'm like, all right,
yeah,
okay. Not bad. Here for it a little bit. And that's it, guys. That was Blair Witch 2016, directed by Adam Wingard, written by Simon Barrett. They've made better films. Watch those.
They have.
So let's play a little, V versus V, right? Player versus player. 1999 Blair Witch, Courtney, or 2016?
Wait, the first or this one?
Yeah, we're comparing them to. Let's.
Oh, the 1998 or 99 version, hands down.
Yeah, it goes way beyond. Way beyond.
Way beyond. Like we talked about in the last episode, it holds up. It's a solid watch even today. Like it still spooks you.
Yeah, the panic that sets in from watching these characters just sort of fucking lose your shit over days. And then this movie just it tried to hit the same notes, but I think it didn't do that though. It didn't have those characters sort of lose their minds over a period of days. Essentially, these guys are only out here for 2 nights. They're essentially out here for the long weekend, and they all die.
Yeah, that's basically it. I could see where they tried to like call back to the original. Like I could see those attempts coming back like through things, but yeah, it just ended up being a jump scare, and yeah. Are we going to rate it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 local hobos out of 10.
3 lane local hobos. I'll stand with you at 3 then. I'm not going to go lower. I was going to go a little lower.
I mean, it does, like I said, it does have honorable mentions. It does have some good scare scenes. It does have some nice little moments of there, but essentially I think when you're trying to make a copy of a copy, you lose stuff in translation. Like I said, this could have been edited, or this could have been redone, especially if they had some focus groups.
Like you said, if no one even gave them any sort of feedback and they just released it, that kind of sucks too for everyone involved.
If Lisa and James were just going to die, it didn't really matter how they were going to die. Like I said, like if we would have edited it when she got tossed into the ground, did we need?
I think it would have been better because it would have left it kind of open-ish in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, do we need the extra 5 minutes of her, trying to survive, even though it's some shit? It's like we're probably some of the better parts of the movie, but. Yeah, I
mean, it did give us an idea for our own horror movie.
we got a few out of this one. I like this. This is good.
We got a few.
We're gonna hodgepodge together our own Frankenstein, movie, and then
our Frankenstein of all these horrible movies are gonna be like, now we're gonna show you how to do this.
And then it's also a piece of shit because it's just a series of best hits.
They're like, yeah, exactly. They're like, you took the stupidest movies and try to make them. We're like, yeah, it works.
Oh, I recently saw something comparing Stranger Things season 4 to another movie, and it was like beat for beat almost the same thing, and I'm like, ooh, everything's just a rehash of a rehash. So whatever, let's just give the public what they want. Courtney, come on.
Exactly. If the public demands it.
If the public's not, satisfied with it, but then who are we to say any different, I guess?
Exactly. Who are we to get involved? Yeah.
Courtney. Oh wait, I think we did decide what we're gonna do next, right?
Cube, baby. Are we we're leaving the woods? We're leaving the woods for now.
Oh shit, Ashley, we found our way out of the woods.
We're finally out of the woods.
We're finally out of the woods, and we're gonna get lost in a square sci-fi prison.
Yeah, we're gonna square sci-fi prison.
I'm not sure if we'll do the reboot or the remake. There was a Japanese remake that came out this year, or maybe we'll just do one of the sequels. Or maybe we'll find a movie.
There were a few.
Maybe we can find something that's similar but different. You know, I do like this comparing and contrasting that we're doing. But
yeah,
not every.
I think we probably can find something that's similar because Cube is a pretty good concept.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and not every remake is spectacular.
Well, of course we know this.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's because if we do this and we're only setting ourselves up for like some real letdowns later down the road, you know, like
Yeah, for sure.
like the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, you know, I was just like, unless we can really make the best of it. But yeah. But with that being said, we found our way out of the woods, and we'll see you.
We finally found our way out of the woods.
Oh, we found the battery and the keys to the car, and we were,
Fuck yeah, let's get
we
out
were
of
able
here.
to call the cops, and they'll be here by sunrise.
We made it.
So take care, guys. We'll see you guys next time.